Hello, welcome back everybody, Microsoft Office students especially, and those interested in Microsoft Office. This is going to be another Develop Your Skills video for Microsoft PowerPoint 2019 Chapter 3. I'm going to do as we usually do and go to our ebook and start a little bit of reading and then open the app and follow the instructions to help you through the steps. So I'm going to go to the internet. I like Google Chrome. I like to turn on my little mouse highlighter for you. Go to the address bar here and go to bookshelf.vitalsource.com. It's asking for my login. I've supplied logins for you. As a reminder, if it asks about cookies, you could go ahead and save them for now, or you can opt out. That's your choice. Let me type in my email, then my password. As a reminder, we're using the Office 2019 book, so make sure you choose the Office 2019 book. We're going to do Microsoft PowerPoint Chapter 3. Fortunately, my table of contents is open. It's this icon if you need to click it. Microsoft PowerPoint Chapter 3, adding graphics, sound, and animation. I'll go here to the chapter opener. And let me give a quick glance at what we're going to learn in this chapter, and then we'll move into it. We're going to learn how to add pictures, screenshots, and shapes to a presentation, remove backgrounds and apply artistic effects to slide images, add transition effects to a slideshow, add animation to objects on a slide, and add sound effects to transitions and animations. So we're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next page of the book. And then I will start to size my window over to make it a little smaller on the other half of the screen. So on a Windows machine, I can just drag from the title bar off a side of the screen. I usually put the book on the right with PowerPoint on the left. I'm going to size it down to about that small, maybe a little bit wider. And then I'm going to click the big A, little a here to change my text size up a little bit to make it easier to read. I'll go this large just to help everybody out. So working with online pictures, you can search for and insert pictures from the internet directly or from within PowerPoint. So you can add in your own pictures if you have them somewhere on your computer, a flash drive, CD or DVD, that kind of thing, or you could get pictures from the internet itself. Basically speaking, what pictures, shapes, images, all that kind of stuff, we like to call them graphics or graphic elements. That includes things like clip arts that are drawings and all that kind of stuff. Be sure you try to obey copyright law, especially if you're using online graphics. Many of those are inherently copyrighted, whether you know it or not. So when you search for an image in PowerPoint or any of the Microsoft Office apps, when this check mark for Creative Commons only is checked, means it's basically okay for you to use that graphic. So if you ever uncheck that, you could be breaking copyright law. Okay. Using text and object layouts, PowerPoint creates slides with different layouts, such as slides with titles only and slides with titles and text. These slide layouts allow you to easily create slides with the standardized title and bullet text. Many of PowerPoint layouts include title and content layout and the to content layout. Provide placeholders for titles, text, and various types of contents like tables, charts, and pictures. The advantage to using one of these layouts when you bring in a picture is it helps size the picture to that side. So in the slide icons here, so on those layouts that have these content items, essentially speaking, the first one brings in a table. This brings in a chart, smart art, bottom row. This is a picture from the computer, which could be CD, DVD, flash drive, whatever. The middle one is picture from the internet, and the third one is video. We do videos in the next chapter. Deleting placeholder text, you may decide to replace all the text on a slide with a graphic. Deleting all text inside a placeholder results in the slide displaying its 6 default insert icons again, making it easy. So essentially speaking, if you delete the content of the slide, if you go to the next page, you just get the placeholder back that's empty. I'm going to do Develop Your Skills P3D1, Start PowerPoint, Open P3D1 animation from your PowerPoint Chapter 3 folder, save it as P3D1 animation revised. So I'm going to click Start. I'm going to scroll on down to PowerPoint. It's the P's. I also have a desktop icon, but I use that method because I'm not sure what method you guys have. I'm going to slide it off the side so it's snapped to the other half. I'm going to do Open, Browse. It starts me in the Documents folder, and I just need to go in. Your folder might already be here, but I have to go a couple of folders in before I get to the necessary folder. For me, it's this one, Alfred's Office 2019. Go into PowerPoint, Chapter 3, and it was P3D1 animation. And in a moment here, I now need to do my save as. On my particular machine, I need to do save a copy. I can click up here where the file name is, or I can click Browse. And I can just click here after the file name. So I want a cursor after the file name to add the word revised. So it's basically, I could do it a little bit faster by not clicking Browse, but that's okay. I just wanted to show you that method. Step 2 says select the Our Services slide in the Slides panel. So it's slide 2. I click it. Step 3, choose Home, Slides, New Slide Menu button. So this time we're learning a new method to bring in a slide by clicking the menu button. Home, Slides, New Slide Menu button. I actually wish they really taught this earlier. And they want us to choose the one called Content with Caption. This is step 4. Select Content with Caption. Step 5, click in the title placeholder and type Our Recent Success. Step 6, click in this text box here and type Top of the Rock. Remember, this is step 6, so I'm just doing the typing in step 6. Okay, whoops. Step number 7, highlight the wording Top of the Rock and change it to size 24. Home, font group, size 24. Step 8, choose Home Font Bold. So it's assuming Top of the Rock is still highlighted. Step 9, highlight League of Electronic Music Distributors. Choose Home Font Italic. Home Font Italic. Step number 11, click in the large text box over here and type what we see in step 11, many successes. Record-breaking sales. Oops, that has a dash. Excuse my typo, but remember, if it's underlined in red, you could right-click it and see if it has a spelling option, which it doesn't, because V, I guess, was too far from B. Oh, and I have a C here. Yeah. Record-breaking sales. Okay, step 12, click inside the text box if necessary to display its dashed border. Step 13 is to click the dashed border. Step 14 says press delete and then save the changes. Okay, we're going to continue on here now in our book, going down, scrolling, searching for pictures with the online picture search window. So the easiest way, to bring in pictures when you don't have any of your own is to just do it online, and it does its own search through Bing, which is Microsoft's search ability to look for pictures on the internet. You go to Insert Picture Online Source, Insert Images Online Pictures, or click Online Pictures on the slide. Insert a picture from your computer, choose Insert Images Pictures, or click Pictures on the slide. Develop your skills P3D2. In this exercise, you will insert a picture to add visual interest to a slide. As usual, I skip the save as, that first step. It's just not necessary. Step number 2, but when you do the review exercises, reminder, when you do the review exercises at the end of a chapter, please do all the save ases that they ask you. Step 2, on the Our Recent Success slide, so Our Recent Success slide, click the online pictures icon. So you'll see that I actually have a newer version of Microsoft PowerPoint that has 2 extra icons on it. But it's the online pictures is the bottom row, second from the left. Step 3 gives me the search words, which is music award. So I just type music award and press enter. Follow these steps to insert a picture on the slide. Step 4A, scroll until you find this gramophone. So they want us to try to find that gramophone. I did this with a group last time. It was pretty hard to find the gramophone. So, you have to kind of look around for it. They really should have just had a search for gramophone, to be quite honest. We click on it one time to make sure it has the check mark in it. That's step B. Step C says to click insert. The little tip that they have for you here is if you don't like the picture when you see it on the slide, press delete and then start the exercise again. But my machine comes up with these design ideas. I'm just going to close it. When I say machine, I mean my version of PowerPoint. I'm using the newest one, 365, which always updates. So it's a little bit newer than 2019. So don't worry if you don't have that. It's not a big deal. Save your changes was step number 5. Moving, sizing, and rotating objects. In a nutshell, I'm just going to go over it without reading a little bit. But these little lines with circles going around the outer edge of everything, that essentially speaking are sizing handles and or move items and rotate. So the little circles, if you point to them, 2-headed arrow means sizing. This circular thing at the very top, rotate. And in the middle of the graphic, 4-headed arrow means moving. What you might find is when you start to drag and move things here, sometimes the picture will move separately of this copyright information. That's where it's gotten a little bit tricky. So we'll see what happens as we do this. Hopefully, if we just move from here and size down, the copyright stuff will move as well, but we'll have to see. But you can move them on the slide, you can size them, you can rotate them. Let's continue on here with Develop Your Skills P3-D3. As usual, I'm going to skip the Save As step number 1 step, so I'm going to step 2. Click the picture. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we're going to do Develop Your Skills P3-D3 about moving and sizing the graphic. Sometimes what you might notice when we do this weird attribution at the bottom might end out a little bit weird. So what's really important, it says in step number 2, says click the picture to select it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click away and then just click once on the picture. You see how I did that? So only the picture is highlighted now, not the attribution underneath it. So it says follow these steps to rotate it. Step 2A, point to the rotate handle here. Hold down, step B, hold down the left mouse button and drag to the right slowly until the image is rotated about 90 degrees. Step C says choose Quick Access Toolbar, undo. Step 3, follow these steps to resize the picture. Point to the handle on the right so the insertion point becomes a double-headed arrow. Very important, double-headed arrow always means sizing. 4-headed arrow always means moving. Step 4A is to point to that. 4B says drag the left mouse button and drag to the right till the image is about twice as big and really wide. See how it got all skewed and kind of nasty looking at that. Step C, choose Quick Access Toolbar, undo. Step D, point to a bottom right corner handle so the mouse becomes a double-headed arrow and drag to enlarge the image proportionally to your liking. So you could drag it a little bit bigger if you want. I actually kind of like it the way it was, to be quite honest. But you can drag it bigger by going out, smaller by going in. Okay? Actually, I kind of like it about that size, personally. Then it says in step 4, point to the image itself, not the border. For a 4-headed arrow, drag so the image is centered kind of here next to the text. Step 5 says drag the attribution text box to position it under the picture. So I click here, look for a four-headed arrow, and put the attribution under it. If the attribution is too big, you could always size it a little bit smaller as well. The problem is it's going on to 2 lines, which I don't necessarily like. So I'll just leave it kind of how it is. It doesn't have to be perfect for what we're doing. Step number 6 is to save our changes. So I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. Now this part's pretty new to 2019 and 365 versions of PowerPoint. We can add icons and 3D models, which means 3D graphics. Those are really cool. So in addition to pictures, you can insert icons and 3D models from the ribbon. Icons are simple symbols that are typically recognized worldwide, such as smiley faces, a piece of luggage, stuff like that. And then you also have 3D models, which are more ornate than regular pictures and icons. A 3D model, when initially inserted, left and at 2 different rotations, center and right. So when you originally bring in the 3D object, it's going to look pretty much normal, but you can rotate it in a lot of cool 3-dimensional ways. You're going to find this from the contextual ribbon, which I would wish they would have mentioned in the last lesson or so. When a picture is selected, you have a picture format contextual ribbon. So when a 3D model is selected, you'll have a 3D model contextual tab, and it will have a rotate aspect of it. Let's do develop your skills P3D4. In this exercise, we're going to insert an icon in a 3D model. We're going to skip step number 1. Step 2 says click the first slide, slide 1. Step 2 says choose insert illustrations icons. So that's insert illustrations group icons. Step 4 says follow these steps to insert the appropriate icon. The music icon is what we really want. So step 4A says click the arts category. So up here are the different categories. I can see more categories by going this way. There's arts. And then it says click the music notes icon. So the music notes one that they want is the single note, this one I believe. And we click on it once so it has the check mark, click insert. Okay. Drag the icon to the top right corner of the slide to move it out of the way. So I'm going to point here, kind of put it up there. Now step 6. Choose Insert Illustrations 3D Models menu button. So Insert Illustrations 3D Models menu button always means an arrow. Reminder, menu equals arrow. And then we're going to choose Stock 3D Models or Online from online sources, whatever your version says. We're going to type in the search word gramophone. And scroll through the results until you find a model similar to this one. So they have a pretty old looking one, which is actually the second one. I'm going to click Insert. It's bringing in the 3D model. Freshness. Now this icon in the middle of it will help you rotate 3-dimensionally, but it's also a signifier to you that it's a 3D model, not a normal one, not a normal image. It says click the center rotate icon and drag it slightly in all directions to rotate the model in 3D, rotate it to your liking. So, isn't that kind of cool? That works for me. The model is rotated but overlaps our text. Drag the model to the right so it's no longer overlaps the text. So remember, 4-headed arrow. Drag it to the right so it's not overlapping any text. Step 11 is to drag the icon next to the 3D model. So I'm going to drag this icon closer to my 3D model. So it looks like it's playing music. Save the presentation. They're talking here about ordering objects. Sometimes when you insert a picture, it overlaps text or some other objects. You can change the stacking order of objects such as pictures and shapes by moving them forward or backward. That's found from usually the graphics format or pictures format, usually in what's called the align group. And there's an align button that will, in the align group, you'll have something that says send to back, send forward, stuff like that. So here they're showing you an example. The graphic is in front of the text. You can place it behind the text. To move an object one layer at a time, it's Picture Tools, Format. Arrange is the group. Sorry, I said align, but arrange, send backward or bring forward. Or you could do move to, front, back. To move to the front or the back, it's Picture Tools, Format, Arrange, send backward, or send to back. Same idea. So develop your skills P3, D5. In this exercise, we're going to change the stacking order of objects. I'm not going to do step 1. Step 2, on the title slide, drag the music notes icon so it overlaps the gramophone. So I click here, make sure I have a 4-headed arrow, and see how I kind of put it behind the graphic like they did? Because the picture was added to the slide after the icon, it's on top. So newest is on top, oldest is in the back. With the icon still selected, choose Graphic Tools, Format, Arrange, Bring Forward menu button, Bring to Front. So for me, it's Graphics Format. I don't seem to have an Arrange group because I'm not on it. Graphics Format, Arrange. Now I go to the Bring Forward menu button, Bring to Front. Now it's in front of the gramophone. Drag this icon so it matches the figure. I actually have it pretty close. Right about there. Save our changes. Aligning objects. The alignment tools in PowerPoint include guides, smart guides, and grid lines. These can all be toggled on and off by right-clicking a slide and choosing the desired option. So if you right-click on a slide, you have these grid and grid lines. So you could show different lines to help you line things up in a nice, even way if you have multiple objects on a slide. Guides are dashed gray lines that display on the slide to help mark areas such as vertical and horizontal centers. If a guide is showing, objects will snap to it when dragged. So to turn that stuff on, display or hide guides, right-click on a slide, go to Grid and Guides, and choose Guides. Smart guides are similar to guides that are in that dragged objects snap to them, but smart guides display automatically as you drag objects to help you determine when one object is close to the top, middle, sides, or bottom of another object. While guides are dashed gray lines, smart guides are dashed red lines. To make sure it's on, to enable or disable, you right-click a slide, you go to Grid and Guides, Smart Guides. They're usually on by default if I'm not mistaken. Grid lines are composed of a grid of guides that overlay the entire slides. You can change the size of the grid by adjusting the space between the grid lines. To show or hide them, once again, right-click a slide, go to Grid and Guides, and choose the option. Alignment tools. The Grid and Guides options let you customize your alignment preferences, such as having objects snap to guides or not, setting grid spacing, and displaying smart guides when objects are dragged. So these are the options related to grids and guides. You can customize the grids and guides in that dialog box. You get to it from right-clicking on a slide, Grids and Guides. Alignment commands. You can also align objects by selecting them and using one of the alignment commands on the ribbon. This method lets you align the objects to each other or the slide. It's going to be found from the Format ribbon, usually Picture Format, Graphic Format, whatever, Arrange, Group, Align menu. We're going to go ahead and do Develop Your Skills P3D6. Once again, I'm skipping step 1. Step 2, on the title slide, drag the music notes icon toward the bottom of the gramophone picture. So I click and move it towards the bottom of the gramophone picture. It says under step 2, Smart Guides display as you drag and snap the icon. So see if I go down enough, you can see that kind of red line that's kind of magically appearing there. That shows me when I'm near the bottom of the picture. With the icon still selected, shift and click the gramophone picture. Now both are selected. Okay. Then choose Graphic Tools, Format, Arrange, Align menu button, Align top. So for me, it's Graphics Format, Arrange Group, Align, Align top. And it brought the notes up to match the top of the picture. Save our changes. Grouping objects. So in other words, when things are selected like they are now, where one is a icon and one's an actual 3D model, if both are selected at the same time, you could group them to be treated like one object. They can always be ungrouped in order to be treated as different objects again. But the advantage is when it's one object, you have one thing to move, one thing to size. They're connected, basically speaking. We group them from the graphics format ribbon or graphic tools format in the arrange group. That's what they're telling you in the grayish box here. Develop your skills P3D7. Once again, I'm skipping step number 1. Don't need to do it. On the title slide with both the gramophone picture and the music notes icon still selected. So if they're not selected, they should be. You click one of them, hold down the shift key, click the other item. You're going to go to graphic tools, format group if you have the format group, or I'm sorry, graphic tools format would be the tab. Arrange is the group, and then group. So that's graphic format, arrange, group. See how it becomes one item now? Step 3 says click in the top left area of the slide to deselect the grouped objects. No more border on it. With no selection border visible, point your mouse to either the picture or the icon. Your mouse turns to a 4-headed arrow. Drag the object to the right regardless of whether you drag the picture or the icon. Both move together as a single unit because they're grouped, maintaining their alignment and relative position to each other. Step 6 says do press Control-Z on your keyboard to undo the move, or if you're on a Mac, that's Command-Z. Step 7, click either the picture or the icon to select the group again to display its border, so you can get the individual object if you want. Move the mouse around inside the border, but don't click anything yet. As you move the mouse, it displays a 4-headed arrow only when it's over the picture or the icon. Okay. Move the mouse over the picture so it displays a 4-headed arrow, and then drag the picture down. So, okay. So, let me reread that. Move the mouse over the picture so it displays a 4-headed arrow. Now, if I move just the picture down, see? So you have to have that individual item selected. So if I click this individual item, I can move it separately, even though they're grouped. Okay, so you have to click on the individual item very carefully to get the extra box around it. The outermost box is the group-related box. Step 10 says do Control-Z to undo any move you've done. So I'll undo like that. I had a couple of undos because I wanted to show you things. I'm going to save now, step 11. Formatting graphics. After your picture, 3D model, or icon is on the slide, use the various groups on the contextual format tab to add color, effects, to align. You can add borders, drop shadows, bevels. There's just an infinite number of things you can do that you're going to just want to play with on your own at some point. The book is going to have us do 1 or 2 things, but at some point, just play with them and see kind of what they do. You can always do undo. That's the magic. Okay. So the format tab for different objects, they talked about it. We've done it a little bit. Remember, you could do some of the more of that reading on your own. I just want to help with the steps. Let's do develop your skills P3D8. I'm going to skip step number 1. Step 2 says click the music notes icon to select the group. And then click the music notes icon a second time to select it. So I'm already there. I'll show you that what it looks like more regularly. You click once here, the whole group is selected. Click once again. The notes are obviously the one thing selected now. Step 3 says choose graphic tools, format, graphic styles, graphics fill menu, and then button white background 1. So that, I know that sounds like a lot, but it's graphics format, graphic styles group if you have group names, graphics fill, but we want the arrow, white. They actually look better in red, to be quite honest, but that's okay. Step number 4, choose graphic tools, format, graphic styles, graphic effects menu button, choose shadow. So that's graphics format again, graphics styles, graphics fill, I'm sorry, not graphics fill, graphics effects menu button, shadow, perspective upper right. So these are tricky to find. I think it's this one maybe. Perspectives. Oh, perspective down here, the perspective group. Upper right would be, is this upper right? Whoops, my screen tip went away. Upper left, upper right. So the second one in the perspective group. Honestly, you don't see it very well. Step 5, click the gramophone picture to select it and display its border within the group. Choose 3D model tools format. So that's 3D model here. Format tab is different from the graphics tool. Yeah. Step 7, format. They don't ask us to change anything. And there's no command to add effects. Oh, they just want you to see there's no command to add effects. Okay. Click a blank area of the slide to deselect the group. Save your changes. Going to the next portion of the book here. Adding other graphics. Sometimes you just can't find that perfect picture in PowerPoint's online searches, so you can incorporate your more unique and personal imagery if you take your own pictures or download professional ones. So just use your own pictures if you have them. Removing a background. This is where I think PowerPoint deviates a little bit too far away from what somebody might need to do when making a presentation, but I'll do it with you as a demonstration. If you have problems with it, doing it on your own, just bring in the picture and size it smaller or something of that nature. So essentially speaking, when you remove backgrounds, you're just telling parts of the image to not show. They become see-through. And essentially speaking, anything you do with these graphics in PowerPoint, the original pixels of the graphics stay there, so there's nothing to worry about. You can always bring it back without even doing an undo. Nothing's actually removed. They're kind of showing you here what we're going to try to do. Anything in pink goes bye-bye. If these little circles have minuses, it means bye-bye. If they have pluses, it means show. And when this person did it, they got a pretty clean looking look here. So with just a few clicks, it takes a lot of practice, and you'll see as I do it, their instructions don't work perfectly. They work pretty good, but they don't work perfectly. We're going to do develop your skills P3D9. So I'll explain things as we go along. Skipping step number 1, scroll down the slides panel if necessary and choose artist successes. So it's slide 6. Step 3, choose insert images pictures. Insert images pictures. Now for me, it happens to be the this device. And make sure you're in PowerPoint chapter 3, step number 4 now, and choose the guitarist, P3D9 guitarist. So that's P3D9 guitarist, and then click insert. Okay, I'm going to stop doing these design ideas. We're going to now try to remove the background. So these are the steps that get a bit tricky, and if it doesn't work out well for you, you could always delete it, bring in the picture and just make it smaller and fit it next to it. But step 5, drag the picture up so it snaps to the top of the slide. So 4-headed arrow, let it snap to the top of the slide. Step number 6, drag the bottom corner handle down until the left until the bottom of the picture snaps to the bottom of the slide. To be quite honest, it's already the width of the slide, but they kind of want a corner, and it says the bottom left corner, I guess, so they prefer this one. Now, the problem is you can't really go down and left, see? So that's why, personally, in my opinion, can't quite get it back to where it was, but that's okay. I'm just going to drag down from the middle, like that. That works fine. Step 7, choose Picture Tools Format, Adjust, Remove Background. Picture Format, Adjust Group if you have it, Remove Background. So PowerPoint does its best to try to guess what you want to keep and don't keep. Mine did a terrible job, as you can see, because we basically want to keep the person and remove all this grass and these people out here. But that's okay. The purple means bye-bye. What you can see is what you see. So it even says PowerPoint did a poor job. So step 8, choose background removal, refine, mark areas to keep. So first of all, let me just make sure, yep, mark areas to keep. So background removal is its own ribbon, mark areas to keep. Step A, point to the top of the left shoulder and drag down to the bottom of the elbow. So I'm going to point here, drag down his elbow. Now your version may show dotted lines instead. This is the new version that does it a little bit differently. Point to the left edge of the guitar and drag to the right to keep the guitar. So here's the guitar. I'm going to drag kind of into his arm. There's even a little piece down here I'll drag over. There's even a tiny piece right here, it looks like, of the guitar. There, that's pretty good. Drag over any other purple on the guitarist or the guitar until neither has any purple. So I'm actually going to drag down his head like that. And I'm going to drag across his head like that. And it's okay that a lot of this is turning what we don't want. Drag down his body, drag down his body, drag down his body again, down here. Okay, so that's pretty good now. And now I need to do, I'm going to define areas to remove. So step 10, choose background removal, refine, mark areas to remove. So I need to get rid of all this. So I can do that. I need to get rid of all this. I need to do that. That area in there. That area in there. This area down here. And this area right here. I just drag lines. Now that looks pretty good. Okay. So step 11 was kind of doing what I just did. Drag in the areas that you need to get rid of. Step 12, choose background removal, close, keep changes. So background removal, close, group, keep changes. So my dude turned out okay. We're going to do some adjustments to him anyway, so it really doesn't matter. If your slide doesn't resemble this figure, step 13, drag the image to the right so the red ribbon at the top of the slide is covered. So I can drag him a little bit to the right so we cover that little red piece that was up there. Step 14, if your slide doesn't resemble this figure, you could always go back to Picture Tools, Format, Adjust, Remove Background, and try some more stuff. I don't seem to have to do that, so I'm going to save my changes, step 15. Artistic effects. PowerPoint includes artistic effects that can be applied to pictures, making photographs look like pencil sketches, cement, or pastels. Additionally, pictures can be recolored to create a color cast that blends with your theme. So here's an example with no effect. Here's an example with some effects. We're going to do something very similar. I don't like the color they choose, so I might choose a slightly different one. So that's with pencil sketch and the recolor effect. These are found from the Picture Tools ribbon, Format, Group, Adjust, Artistic Effects. So we're going to do some of that now with Develop Your Skills P3D10. I'm skipping step 1. Step 2, if necessary, select the picture on the 6th slide, Artist Successes. So my picture's still selected because I see these. Step number 3, choose Picture Tools, Format, Adjust, Artistic Effects menu button. So Picture Format, Adjust, Artistic Effects. Point to several effects to see how they change the picture on the slide. Also, you can see the name when you do it. See, when you point to it, they have the name. Pencil grayscale is actually kind of a cool one. So step 5 is to do pencil grayscale, which is the third one from the left in the top row. I click it, now it's using it. Step number 6, Picture Tools, Format, Adjust, Color. Picture Format, Adjust, Color. And you could point to several colors according to step 7. Notice the tooltip that appears. See that? And they want us to do recolor teal, accent 5, color light. So that's teal, accent color 5 light. Yeah, that one actually looks pretty good. Matches the theme of the slide pretty well. Save your changes. They're talking here about inserting a screenshot. You may want to include a picture of something on your computer screen, such as a program window or a web page. In a presentation, PowerPoint screenshot tool lets you insert a picture of any open window or program or drag on your screen to define an area to insert. You can insert a full program or folder window or take a screenshot of a portion of a window. You do it by Insert Images Screenshot menu button. We did that in the overview chapter. the very, very, very first chapter of this class. So there's a video on doing that if we don't do it here. Shapes. PowerPoint offers over 150 shapes that you can add to your slides. You can use these shapes to build your own custom flowcharts, mathematical equations, speech and thought bubbles, or other designs. Shapes can even include text. They move in size the exact same way. And you get to from insert illustration shapes, stretching a shape. You can stretch shapes to make them bigger, smaller. They size the exact same way as pictures and other graphics we've used. The difference is you'll see a little yellow thing on the shape, which allows you to change things like this, where we're going to see in a moment, where you can have less of a smiley face to more of a frown. Adding text to a shape, after you insert the shape, you can usually just type. The exclusion are things like lines and arrows. Some arrows you can type in, but some you can't. And it's automatically going to center the text. It does everything for you. The text automatically wraps, all that great stuff. Formatting shapes and shape text. Once again, you could change the font, you could change the font color, you can make it word art, you can do anything, and it's going to be on the basically shapes ribbon. There's a shapes design ribbon, I believe, for format. Here's the shape variation of the yellow thing I was mentioning. If you drag the yellow thing on the shape, you can make it more of a frown. Whoops, scrolled the wrong way. Merging shapes. If you need a shape that PowerPoint doesn't offer, you can merge shapes together to draw things. They actually have you do that in the first or second review exercise. You draw your own house by doing rectangles and triangles. Develop your skills P3D11. I'm skipping step 1. Step 2, click the 7th slide, Carolina Rex. Choose step 3, choose insert, illustrations, shapes, stars group, 5-point star. So here's stars and banner group. The 5-point star is this one, 4th one in. Step 4 says, while holding shift as you drag on the slide to create a star shape that fills most of the white area to the right of the text. So I normally start kind of here near the word month. I hold down my shift key, drag out, make my star. Remember, if it's slightly off the slide, I can just drag it back up. I can drag it back up as long as it's a 4-headed arrow. Step number 5, type top seller, exclamation point. Step 6, click the dashed border of the shape to select it so it turns solid. Step 7, choose home, font size menu button, 54. Home, font group, size, 54. Don't worry about the fact it's all not showing very well. Step 8, follow these steps to change the shape of the star and make the text fit nicely. So see how very pointed my star is? We're going to make it a little more rounded. We're going to make it kind of more bubbly. So I'm going to drag the yellow handle up a little bit, this yellow handle up a little bit, till it kind of snaps right. Looks kind of like that. If necessary, you may need to size your shape a little bigger. Use a corner, drag out while holding shift. Okay? Now we're going to format the shape, step 9. It's drawing tools, format, shape styles more, theme styles, intense effect, purple accent 6. So that's a lot of wording, but that's a contextual tab here for me. It's shape format. These are the shape styles. These things here, they want the more button, and they want the intense effect, purple accent 6. I think it's this one. Yes, so it's the bottom of the purples in the first set under the theme styles. See how it says theme styles? Last purple one. Step 10, choose drawing tools, format, word art styles, more button, fill white, outline teal, accent color 5, shadow. Wow, that's a lot again. That's just the color, all that stuff at the end. So that's a shape fill, word art styles. That's these A's that look really fancy. Click the more button, and they want the one with white, fill, teal. So it's 4th from the right. Got it. If necessary, change the size of the star shape so it fits on 2 lines. You can also move it if you want. If you'd like it more here, just move it a little if you want, and save your changes. Going on to the next portion of the chapter, which I think is transitions. Yes, freshness. Love transitions. Slide transitions animate the change from one slide to another, not individual elements of the slide. Used properly, these transitions add zest and excitement to your presentation while you're presenting. Just don't do overkill. Don't do too much with these. There's some really fun stuff. They also mention here, be consistent. What you do on one slide, you usually do on the others, whether it's animation or transitions. Right now, transitions means between slides. Creating transitions in slide sorter view is the easiest way to do it because you can select the slides a lot easier. Okay, and to do it, we just go to transitions, transition to this slide. They're also here talking about a morph transition. The new morph transition is a new to PowerPoint 2019. It's visually appealing modern effect that can be difficult to use unless your slides are set up correctly. The key to this transition is having things repeat from slide to slide. For example, entire words, single text, characters, etc. Develop your skills P3D12. I'm skipping step 1. Step 2, view, choose view, presentation views, slide sorter, presentation views, slide sorter. Step 3 says Control A to select all the slides. If you're on a Mac, that's Command A. Step 4, hold down your Control key, click slide 1. So it no longer has a red box. Everybody got that? Red box is around slides 2 through 11. Step 5, choose transitions, transition to this slide, morph. Transitions, transition to this slide, morph. Try the new morph. Just you got it. I've already clicked morph. It's already applying it. You can see it's previewing. Step 6 says press escape to stop the preview. Step 7, choose transitions, transition to the slide, effect options menu button. So transitions, transitions to the slide group, effect options, and they want it to be on characters according to step number 7. So it's based on the characters. Step 8, press escape to stop the previews. Step 9, follow these steps to change the transition duration, meaning how long it takes. 9A, locate the transitions timing duration setting. So that's transitions, timing, duration. See here where it says 2.0? And lower it according to step B. Click the down so it's 1.50. Notice these star icons next to each slide tells you that there's a transition there. We're going to run the slideshow. Remember, while the slideshow runs, I won't be able to look at the steps, so I'm only going to look at a few slides just to show you the transition. We end our show by pressing the escape key. So they want us in step 10, slideshow, start slideshow from beginning. Slideshow, start slideshow from beginning. No transition, you don't want it on the first slide. I can press my right arrow or click my mouse. That is the morph effect. I can press it again. That's the morph effect again. There's the morph effect again. So that's just going between slides. To me, it's too busy, but that's okay. I'm going to press escape to end my show because I've seen what the morph effect does. Step 13, they said to go all the way to the end of the presentation, but you can get it after a couple. You get the idea. Step 13 says save your presentation. I'm going to go on to the next portion of the chapter here. Using slide animation. So transitions are what happens between slides. Animation is what happens on a slide. There's lots that can happen on a slide. You can make the bullets come in one at a time. You can make a graphic fly in a certain way, all that kind of stuff. You've probably seen it before. Sorry about that. Tip, less is more. Animation can distract your audience. There's lots of animation options. So after you apply an animation to something on a slide, there's many options to control it. Timing, adding sound, what direction it comes in, whole bunch of crazy stuff. So animation effect options. I'm going to do P3D13, develop your skills P3D13. Once again, skipping step 1. Step 2, view, presentation views, normal. Step 3, display the Our Services slide, which is slide 2. Step 4, click once in the bulleted list. So a dashed border appears. You just need a cursor. Don't highlight. You just need a cursor. Step 5, choose animations. So a new tab. Animation group more. On a Mac, your more button's here, but on Windows, it's here. Just note, as a quick note, the greens, things fly in or come in. Emphasis means the text or whatever is on the slide and it gets some effect. Red means it's on the slide and it leaves the slide. And there's even more stuff down here. More. Okay. So there's lots and lots. But the book actually chooses my favorite, step 5, float in. Pretty cool look, isn't it? Step 6, choose animations, animation effect options menu button, float down. So animations, animation, effect options, float down. Freshness. Nice. Step 7, display the Our Recent Success slide. Click in a blank space in the bottom right corner of the slide, so the slide rather than the slide thumbnail is selected. Okay. In the slides panel. Press Control A to select all the objects. So everything on this is selected. Step 10, choose animations, animation more, entrance float in. Well, you can actually already see it here, but that's animations, animation, more if need be, float in. See how they're all coming? Okay. Applying the same animation across slides adds consistency. That's a very good idea. The slide shows 2 objects marked with the number 1, and 1 object marked with the number 2, and 3 objects marked with the number 3. That's telling you what order they come in. So this title comes in kind of with this weird title. Then this kind of comes in. Then these come in together. It's kind of weird, actually. Step 11, you're going to watch it. It's going to be kind of weird. Choose slideshow, start slideshow from beginning. So slideshow, start slideshow from beginning. I click my mouse to get to the second slide. I need to click my mouse to make the bullets come in. So there's a click, there's a click, there's a click. We are going to learn that you can make this come in automatically. And I'm going to click again to get to this slide. Now nothing's here because I have to click. See how those come in together? That's a little weird. That comes in, and then those come in together. That's a little weird. So I'm going to end my show now by pressing escape. So I couldn't follow these steps very well. Step 17 says do save. The animation pane allows you to animate and control all the available options for the animation. We get to the animation pane from Animations, Advanced Animation, Animation Pane. You can also reorder your animations. So if you want a picture to come in before text or text before a picture, you had them ordered wrong, you can always change the order, doing it in the panel here by using these up and down arrows. Or you could do it here with move earlier, move later. That's basically what those arrows are. Okay. Let's do develop your skills P3D14. Step number 2, display the third slide, Our Recent Success. Step 3, choose Animations, Advanced Animation, Animation Pane. So Animations, Advanced Animation, Animation Pane. Follow these steps to explore the objects in the first animation sequence. Step 4A, click the Play All button, and you see it. See, that's a way to preview it instead of actually going to the slideshow. Step B, click each of the items in the first animation group. So if you click this, see how it highlights that kind of? You click this, highlights that stuff. See that? Follow these steps to explore the objects in the second animation. You're going to click these arrows here, these double arrows. That's 5A. 5B says, notice the first line of text top of the rock animates with the first sequence, while the second and the third lines animate with the second. So see, top of the rock is still part of the number 1, but this excellence is number 2. Kind of weird. The picture's attribution caption is grouped with the last line of text in the third sequence. Follow these steps so they're just having us notice that according to step 5. Step 6, we're now making changes. 6A, click the trophy picture on the slide to select it and highlight it in the animation pane. So it got highlighted over here in the animation pane. See, it's that thing that says content place. Step B says click the move up button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Click the attribution caption on the slide. That's this. Click the move up button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Follow these steps to redefine when the animations start. Okay. Step 7A, click the trophy picture on the slide to easily select it. Click its menu button and choose Start on Click. So that's this menu button here. Start on Click. Step C, click the top of the rock item. So in here where it says top of the rock, click its down arrow and choose Start on Click. That's step C. Step D says click the excellence item and click its down arrow, but choose Start with Previous. That means automatically. With or after previous means automatically, no mouse needed. Step E says click the league item and choose Start with Previous. Step 8, your animation pane should match this. Title, content, text 8, top, good. Step 8 also says to click Play All. So you got to click here in the gray in order to do that. Click Play All. See, it's playing much better. We got just the title, then the graphic, then all this wording. Wave freshness. Now you can auto advance animation sequences. Step 9, click the second slide. Click once in the bulleted text. That's step 10. Step 11, follow these steps to begin to configure the advanced animations. So this pane stayed open. Click the double arrows as step A. Step B says click the first menu item and then its down arrow. So you got to click on this item first, so it's the only one highlighted. Click its down arrow and choose After Previous. Step C was to choose After Previous. Step 12 says ensure each of the remaining items is set to After Previous. So I click the second item, click its arrow, After Previous. Click the third item, click the arrow, After Previous. Click the fourth item, this arrow, After Previous. Notice how it goes kind of like in a staircase. Basically means this all come in by themselves. You'll also notice they have zeros, which mean they play by themselves. Let's look at how this all plays out now. Step 13, choose slideshow, start slideshow from beginning. I'm just going to get past the third slide and then I'll end the show. So that's slideshow, start slideshow from beginning. I do the click of the mouse. There's our transition. See how this played all by itself. I'm not clicking the mouse this time. Yay. Then I can click again. Nothing's happening because I got to click the mouse. We left this on click. Click the mouse again, the picture comes in. Click again, that finally comes in. So I'm going to end the show here by pressing escape. Step 19 says to click anywhere on the slide. Okay, we've done all that, end the show, save our changes. We're going to do a 3D animation now. In this exercise, you'll apply a 3D animation. So step 2, display the first slide. These are new to these newer versions of PowerPoint as well. Click the gramophone picture. Step 3, choose Graphic Tools, Format, Arrange, Group menu button, Ungroup. So graphics format for me. Arrange, Group, Group, Ungroup. Click the gramophone picture to select it. What's happening, you might want to click away and click just the gramophone. Oh, it said it there in step 4, I'm sorry. Step 4, click the blank area. Step 5, click the gramophone. Step 6, navigate to the Animations tab and notice the several new animations, applicable only to 3D models in the animation gallery. So we go to Animations. These are the ones just for your 3D graphic. And they want us to choose Jump and Turn. This is really cool, actually. That's dope. Okay, and then I'm going to choose Save, step 8. Motion paths, these are pretty cool too. Rather than limiting yourself to the default straight lines that some animated objects travel, you can create custom paths. So we're going to create our own custom path. It's going to be pretty cool. Develop your skills, P3D16. I'm skipping step 1. Step 2, click the music notes icon. Step 3, animations, animation, more, custom path. Now 4A through D, I'm going to follow here. I'm going to create my own path now by clicking my mouse. It says click the bottom left corner of the slide. And see how it's bringing this line with me? This line is determining the path. Click the dot above the letter I. So for iJams. Then it says the dot underneath the exclamation point down here. And then double click in the middle of the icon's border at the end of the path. So I think they kind of want it up here if I remember right. Double click the icon's border. I'll just do that. So I should have had it go up a little higher, but that's okay. Now follow these steps to simultaneously animate the gramophone and music notes as the slide displays. Click the 3D model. Click its menu button. That's here. Choose Start with Previous. Step number 3D model, animation pane to select it. Yeah. And then you should have to do the graphic as well. Let's see what happens when we click slideshow, start slideshow from beginning. So step number 6, slideshow from beginning. Then you have to click your mouse. So that didn't work quite right. So their instruction there, I'm going to press escape. Their instruction here, oh, set the second item, step B, I missed that. The graphic here, click its down arrow with previous. Now they'll animate together. So if I go back to slideshow from beginning, now they animate together. Cool. I'm going to press escape, save my changes. I think we're on the final part here, which is just adding a little bit of sound to one of our graphics. So you can add sound to your graphics just to make it kind of fun and cutesy. There's a lot of built-in sounds. That's different than doing music. Music comes in the next chapter. That's audio. We're going to do it from transitions, timing, sound. Or you can do it on even an object, like a picture or something. Let's do P3, develop your skills, P3D17. So in this exercise, we're going to apply 2 sounds to the presentation to enhance the animation, skipping step 1. Step 2, click the Our Recent Success slide, slide 3. Follow these steps to display the effect options. Click the drop-down menu button for the animation, the content placeholder here. Click its down arrow, that's A. B says choose effect options. C says in this sound drop-down, click it and choose applause, and then click OK. Unfortunately, they're hard to preview ahead of time. But if you have a speaker, you can hear it clapping. That was step 4 to click OK. Step 5, add a transition sound effect. So display the Our Services slide. Go to Transitions, step 6. Timing Group, Sound drop-down, and choose Chime. And they want you to choose Chime. And now choose slideshow, start slideshow from beginning. So I'm going to do that. Slideshow from beginning. There's our animation. There's the chime sound on the transition. It animates by itself. Go to the next slide. I need to do my mouse to make that come in. There's that with the sound and then that. So I'm going to end the slideshow there. It says in step 10 to close the animation pane. I can save my changes, and it says to exit PowerPoint, which means we've ended the chapter here. As a reminder, if you do the down arrow here, you get to the little quiz. After the quiz, you go to the down arrow and you do the 6 review lessons. The 3 reinforce your skills, the 3 apply your skills. Please try to upload them to the Canvas course if you're doing that. And that's PowerPoint chapter 3, working with animation stuff. Lots of fun things. Hope this helps you, and we will see you next time for the final PowerPoint chapter, which is about adding music and video. audio and video technically. Hope this helps. Have a good one. See you soon.